Say hi YouTube. Hi YouTube. Wait, where's my chat? Where's my chat? Okay, there's my chat box. All right. Um. Um. Let me see. What is this? The basketball prodigy who physically couldn't live up to the hype. Now, me personally, I think if Mikey Williams was in a thug, he'd be in the G League. Solid G League player, man. He was not that good. I'm not gonna lie.
That
But let's
made
go.
every
Let's
play
watch
feel
this
like a
vid, man. It's not
mixtape
about me.
moment.
It's about Mikey Williams.
For a while, Mikey wasn't just a basketball player. He was seen as the future of basketball. He was supposed to be the chosen one, the next phenom to turn internet fame into NBA superstardom. And at one point, Mikey was the most followed high school athlete in the country, with millions of people watching his every move. He wasn't just a prospect, he was a cultural moment, and that's what made the hype so heavy. Because unlike other viral stars, Mikey had the physical tools to back it up. At 6'2" with a strong frame, elite bounce, and a quick first step, he had the look of a future NBA guard. He could shoot, he could slash, he could dunk on anyone, and for a while it looked like he was on a straight line path to the league. But the thing about hype is that eventually it has to meet production, and that's where Mikey's story started to change. Because while the mixtapes made him look like a generational talent, the reality was that Mikey Williams struggled to keep growing once the competition caught up. He stayed the same player he'd been at 15, while other guards kept getting sharper, smarter, and more consistent. The truth is, Mikey had everything a young star could
What did I
ask
say
for.
before we started watching the video? I said, me personally, I think the nigga ass. I'm not gonna lie. People was like, oh yeah, Mikey and Mikey Williams. Mikey Williams is doing, bro. Just ass period, bro. I went to go see Mikey Williams before he was doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Before he was all big and shit. He was mid, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like maybe I didn't see him when he was playing for YK Cyrus or whatever this jersey is, but the dude was
The
mid, bro.
platform, the exposure,
Like, come
the
on, like we're
sponsorships.
not gonna
And
do
yet,
this,
when
man.
it was time to take the next step, he couldn't quite get there. This is the story of the basketball prodigy who physically had
hold on.
all
I might be wrong. That was kind of good. Hey, look at this dude. No jawline. He got him sweating. Jesus Christ.
the tools, but couldn't live up to the hype.
Nigga.
So let's rewind. Back to the very beginning, when Mikey wasn't just a
what is
star
this
in the
sorry
making,
background
he was
music?
the kid
I'm not
everyone
gonna lie.
thought was next. Mikey didn't just appear out of nowhere, he was built for this moment. Before he was dunking on kids and filling up overtime highlight reels, Mikey was just another talented California guard, but one with a natural gift for showmanship. He was fast, explosive, and confident in a way that made you stop and watch. He was first discovered as a teammate of Bronny.
I knew it. He didn't even have to say it. You see how fast I just hit pause? I don't even know I don't even know what app that is. That's Copilot, dude. He was with Bronny and them, and look where Bronny's at, the league. Yeah, you gonna say, yeah, his daddy's Bron, but Bronny also didn't get caught up in no legal troubles. All that happened was he was in cardiac arrest. If Bronny ain't going to cardiac arrest, he be a starter on the Lakers, bro. Mark my words.
The infamous youth
what the
AAU
heck?
squad, the North Coast Blue
bro,
Chips.
y'all boys think I'm
Coached by
crazy. If
LeBron
Bronny never
himself,
got
this youth AAU
injured or whatever, he would have been a starter on the Lakers. And y'all think I'm trolling when I keep saying that, but I'm like he would have been a starter.
team featured Bronny, Jazeer Jackson, who was bigger than LeBron at 14, and of course,
Huh? Nigga, what? Bigger than who at 14?
Bronny, Jazeer Jackson, who was
This dude like a Spartan warrior, bro.
bigger than LeBron at 14.
We just not gonna act like that's normal, bro. He said he doesn't have enough fear in his voice.
Jackson, who was bigger than
I'll
LeBron
turn up the
at
headphones.
14, and of course, Mikey.
Yeah, nah, his parents is feeding him steroids, compound V, everything in between, boy. There's just no way that's human. I'm not gonna lie to you. That dude is not human, bro. You can't tell me that's... Bro, he's bigger than 6'9" at 14. Yeah, it's GG's.
Mikey Williams. The Blue Chips became the hottest ticket in youth basketball, and while most people came to see Bronny and Big Ja, it was Mikey who looked like the best player on the team. That's where the legend of Mikey Williams began. Even at 12 and 13 years old, Mikey had bounce that made crowds gasp. He was dunking in middle school games, hitting NBA range threes, and playing with a chip on his shoulder that made every highlight clip feel personal. In the era of Instagram and YouTube, he was the perfect storm. Ball is Life, Slam, and Overtime started posting his clips. YouTube mixes of Mikey torching kids twice his size were racking up millions of views. By the time he was in 8th grade, Mikey wasn't just known in AAU circles. He was becoming a household name for hoop fans everywhere. Then came high school, and that's when the explosion really happened. Mikey stayed home in San Diego, suiting up for San Ysidro High School. In his very first varsity season as a freshman, he averaged over 29 points per game, and in just his 4th high school game ever, he scored an absurd 70.
Huh? You a humans? So that was his first high school basketball game ever on varsity.
And in just his 4th high school game ever,
Fourth,
he scored
fourth. Oh, because that makes it way better. He just fourth game. He was just like, "Hey man, yeah, I feel like just scoring 77. That's Kobe numbers, bro. What are we doing? This dude's not human."
7 points. He rained threes, dunked on fast breaks, and put on one of the most dominant scoring performances in California history. The clip went viral overnight, and from that moment on, Mikey Williams wasn't just a prospect, he was a phenomenon. San Ysidro games started selling out. Fans lined up before tip-off. Cameras were everywhere. Overtime, Slam, and Ball is Life were sending full crews to every game. Mikey had become a one-man traveling show, and he leaned into it. He celebrated every big shot, threw down every dunk with flair, and made sure every performance felt like an event. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was performing it. By the end of his freshman year, Mikey had built something no high schooler ever had before, a full-blown brand. And then came the move that made history. At just 17 years old, Mikey Williams became the first American high school basketball player to sign a shoe deal with a global footwear brand, inking a multi-year contract with Puma. This wasn't just hype, this was groundbreaking. It put him in the same conversation.
I want to be rich.
Wishing for more money? All you need is your phone. No. Go to Geico,
I'm not
get
wishing
a
for
quote,
no money,
and you
boy.
could save $900 with your phone.
Look at that, it's ringing.
It feels good to save some coin. It feels good to Geico.
Imagine being able to build an app
Not
with
broke,
your
I'm not
name
broke,
on
I'm not broke. I
it
do
just
the
by
ads on
thinking
purpose,
about
I do
it.
the ads on purpose.
Meet Base
Do the ads on purpose.
44.
Conversation as
Just do.
NBA stars with signature
do.
shoe deals
Do the
before
ads
he
on
ever
purpose.
played a minute of college basketball. He was a pioneer, blazing a trail for the NIL era that was just beginning to take shape. By this point, Mikey had more than 3.5 million Instagram followers, more than many NBA starters. He was bigger than just a recruit. He was a celebrity, a trendsetter, the face of the high school basketball internet era. At his peak, Mikey Williams felt inevitable. It wasn't a question of if he'd make the NBA, it was how big a star he'd be when he got there. But as we've seen before, hype is a double-edged sword, because the bigger the rise, the bigger the crash when things start to go wrong. And soon, cracks would start to appear, both on the court and off. At his peak, Mikey Williams felt untouchable. He had millions of followers, a historic Puma deal, and a reputation as the future face of basketball. But if there's one thing we've learned about hype, it's that it has an expiration date, and soon people started asking questions. After his electric freshman season at San Ysidro, Mikey transferred to Lake Norman Christian in North Carolina. At first, it seemed like the perfect move, a chance to play on a national stage against elite competition. He still put up numbers, still had highlight plays, still looked like one of the most talented guards in the country. But scouts were watching more closely now, and cracks started to appear. Mikey could always score, but how efficient was he? Could he run a half-court offense? Could he defend consistently and elevate teammates when the lights were brightest? Then came another move, this time to Vertical Academy, a program essentially built to showcase Mikey. It was the perfect place for him to control the narrative, but the competition wasn't consistent. Some nights he'd put up 30 or 40 points and look unstoppable. Other nights against nationally ranked teams, he struggled to impose his will. The same flashy style that made him an internet star started to raise eyebrows for talent evaluators. Was Mikey becoming more of a showman than a winning player? Every matchup against other top recruits
Boy, he was lost.
started to raise eyebrows for
Whoa,
The same
there's
flashy
no
style
way.
that made him an
Yo,
internet star
hey, analyze
started
this
to
dude
raise
right quick. Boom. Knows the pass went over there. It's not like he didn't know the pass went over there.
his eyebrows for talent
Seeing the pass right there.
evaluators.
No. I'm getting
Style
this
that
wrong,
made
bro.
him
I'm
an
analyzing
internet
this wrong. All right,
star
analyze this.
started
Boom. Knows
to
the pass
raise
went over there.
eyebrows
Seen the pass and immediately turned his head back and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna let big bro do his
for
thing.
talent evaluators.
He did not want to get punched on. I'm so serious.
Was
That
Mikey
dude got out
becoming
the way
more of
so
a
quick.
showman than a winning player? Every matchup against other top recruits became a measuring stick. And a winning player? Every matchup against
I'd have done the same thing, man. Why you get your
was
head all
Mikey
on me,
becoming
man?
more of a showman than a winning player? Every matchup
Yeah, dude, you got your head all on me. Nah, Mikey did the right thing, man. You want, bro? Come on, man. Unless you like wee wee, you got, bro. Get your head off of me, man. What you laying on me? I'm not your
against
girl, bro.
other
What
top
the freak?
recruits became
You
a
don't push me
measuring
like
stick.
that.
When he faced
Oh,
Bronny James, Dior Johnson, or DJ Wagner, the gyms were packed and the cameras were rolling. And Mikey had moments, no question. He'd throw down a dunk that blew up on Instagram, hit a clutch three, or stare down a defender with the swagger that made him famous. But there were also games where he disappeared for stretches, settled for contested pull-ups, or got caught on defense. For the first time, there was a debate about whether Mikey was just a great high school player or someone who could actually translate to the next level. But even with some lingering doubt, the hype train kept rolling. Mikey committed to Memphis in late 2022, and it felt like a turning point. This was the moment he could silence doubters. Penny Hardaway, a former NBA All-Star guard himself, was the perfect coach to mold Mikey into a polished, college-ready floor general. The announcement made headlines everywhere.
This dude,
The idea
yo,
of Mikey
this
Williams
dude had
running
LeBron and Penny Hardaway ready to coach him, dude. Like,
the
this dude, come on,
backcourt for
man.
Memphis felt like a natural next step, a chance to prove that he wasn't just a social media creation.
Switch to TurboTax.
I run the ads because I love
File
YouTube.
free in the app by
All right,
228.
that's the only reason why I do it, man.
But then everything changed. In April 2023, Mikey Williams' story took a turn that no one saw coming. Police arrested him on 5 felony charges after a shooting outside his home in California. The details were shocking. A car full of 6 people, which included 3 minors, were leaving his property after an argument when Mikey fired multiple shots at the vehicle. No one was injured, but bullet holes were found in the car. Almost overnight, Mikey's entire world flipped. This wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about whether he'd even have a future in the sport at all. Memphis, the school he was set to star for, quickly announced he wouldn't join the team until his legal situation was resolved. His name vanished from highlights. His sponsors went quiet. Puma, the brand that had once signed him to a groundbreaking deal as a high schooler, backed away. The hype machine froze. And as the case unfolded, things looked grim. Prosecutors eventually hit Mikey with 9 felony counts.
Jesus Christ, this dude, Mike, yo, you might as well have just shot somebody while you were at it. If you were gonna do all that, you might as well just shot somebody too. Like, how do you even get hit with that many charges, bro? How do you even do that, bro? There wasn't even 9 people in the car.
To an occupied vehicle to making criminal threats. Witnesses said they saw him with a weapon threatening passengers in the car. But the evidence
I'm not gonna lie. He never did that. They just wanted to not league him. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Airtight.
Nobody
could
I'm not, bro. I'm so serious. They was
just
just
pull the trigger.
I promise
the
you,
case
Mikey
dragged
didn't say
on
that.
for months, delaying his basketball comeback even further. Finally, late in 2023, Mikey reached a plea deal. He pled guilty to a single felony count of making a criminal threat, and in exchange, 8 other charges were dropped. Under the agreement, he avoided jail time, but he had to complete anger management, safety courses, counseling, and community service. If he followed every condition, the charge could even be reduced to a misdemeanor down the road. Legally, Mikey got a second chance, but the damage was already done. He lost a full year of basketball, a year when other top recruits were turning themselves into lottery picks, all while Mikey was on the sidelines fighting for his freedom instead of refining his game. And that lost year might be the single most important chapter in his story. The moment where the gap between Mikey Williams the brand and Mikey Williams the basketball player truly started to widen. By the time he re-enrolled at Memphis in early 2024, Penny Hardaway made it clear that Mikey wouldn't play that season, not because he wasn't talented, but because he wasn't ready. Eventually, Mikey entered the transfer portal without ever playing a single minute at Memphis. He was searching for a fresh start, but the landscape had changed. He was no longer a guaranteed draw. He was no longer the face of high school basketball. He was a question mark. And that's when the narrative around Mikey truly shifted. He went from the next big thing to a cautionary tale in real time. From the kid who was supposed to be first in line for NBA stardom to the player who was fighting just to prove he belonged on a college roster. This was the moment when the hype stopped being fun. This was when the weight of it all, the followers, the mixtapes, the Puma deal, the expectations came crashing down. And it was the moment we realized that Mikey Williams, the internet's favorite prodigy, wasn't just facing opponents anymore. He was facing time, pressure, and the consequences of choices that had nothing to do with basketball. He would finally suit up for the University of Central Florida in the 2024-25 season.
Mike.
It felt like a fresh start, but it never really clicked. Mikey played just 18 games, only starting in 5 of them, and averaged just 5.1 points per game in just 14 minutes. There were flashes, a couple of 14-point nights, a few games where he rebounded well for a guard, but the efficiency issues followed him to college. He shot 37% from the field and 28% from 3. And just as he was starting to settle in, injuries took him out again. The rhythm never came. The leap scouts were hoping for never showed up. By the time the season ended, Mikey looked less like a future NBA star and more like a player searching for a home. And that's exactly what he did, transferring to Sacramento State for the 2025-26 season, where he's now trying to reinvent himself. And honestly, that might be the best thing for him. At a smaller program, with a new coach in Mike Bibby and Shaq as the GM, he has a chance to slow down, get consistent minutes, and focus on actually building his game instead of chasing highlight plays. It's the kind of situation where he could quietly put the pieces together, work on his efficiency, learn to defend, and maybe, just maybe, remind everyone why he was so hyped in the first place. But this is also the crossroads, because if Mikey can't make it work here, if he can't turn himself into a consistent, efficient guard in a smaller conference with a coach who believes in him, the NBA dream might officially slip away. This is the part of his story where potential has to finally meet production, where highlight dunks have to give way to winning basketball, where the player everyone once thought he was has to actually show up. Because Mikey wasn't like Julian Newman. He wasn't physically outmatched. If anything, he was physically gifted. He had the tools to succeed, but the refinement never caught up. The polish never came. And when the spotlight shifted, he didn't have the substance to keep himself in the conversation. That's why
Like Julian Newman, bro, that was so unneeded.
Mikey's story feels so
That is generational hate. Let me hear that
again.
again.
He didn't have the substance to keep himself in the conversation. That's why Mikey's story feels so different.
Huh?
Because Mikey wasn't like Julian Newman. He wasn't physically
I'm not crazy. I told you, random Julian Newman straight for no reason. Bro, this dude hates him. What the freak?
outmatched. If anything, he was physically gifted. He had the tools to succeed, but the refinement never caught up. The polish never came, and when the spotlight shifted, he didn't have the substance to keep himself in the conversation. That's why Mikey's story feels so different, and in a way, so much sadder. Because there was a world where Mikey Williams could have been everything we thought he'd be. The NBA-ready guard with star power, charisma, and a game built.
I checked Allstate first, saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I didn't check to see if anyone was watching before I stole cotton candy from a child. Well, at least I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds.
I be doing the ads on purpose. I be running the ads because I love YouTube. I love YouTube so much. I be running the ads on purpose.
Built for the modern era. But he never became that player. Now he's fighting for...
Nigga, you don't like it so much, you buy me YouTube Premium. Fuck that, nah, boy. Watch my YouTube video, nigga.
one last chance to write a different ending. Not under the bright lights of the Big 12, not with ESPN cameras following him, but in a quieter college gym in Sacramento.
Yo,
if he's ever gonna
in the comments of this YouTube video, Tell me what game you want me to play tomorrow. Okay.
Change the narrative, it has to happen now. So here's the question that everyone keeps asking. Was Mikey Williams ever really as good as we thought, or did we just fall in love with the highlight version of him? The answer, like most things in basketball, is complicated, because Mikey was that good, at least for a time. He was electrifying. He was the first player of the social media generation to turn high school basketball into a full-blown entertainment product.
On W stream for today. Hold on. Oh, chill, 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 chill. Oh my gosh. Which one is it? Which one is it? Single. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. All right, y'all boys. W stream today. Love y'all, man. I gotta go post some clips, edit some clips, and I gotta get this YouTube video up in like 2 minutes. So I'll see y'all boys tomorrow. Stay safe. All right.